What is up? Ew. How's everyone? I am rambunctious and feeling good, feeling frisky. I had a great night at work. It's so funny because the weeknights at the restaurant I work at are so chill, and then the weekends are absolute insanity. And so just switching out my schedule so I would have one less weekend night has made such a big difference in my life. So that is a good testament just in this moment to say that sometimes we get we think in terms of such broad strokes and big moves, and sometimes it's just small tweaks that need adjusting, right? Maybe me 5 years ago would have been like, oh no, I'm not liking my job anymore. It's too crazy. I've got to quit. And it's just like, no, maybe you just need to switch one day a week around with another one. And that's probably going to make a huge difference. And there you go. Voila. So yeah, maybe there is a small tweak that wants to be made in your life that doesn't need a big overhaul. What do you think of that? Okay, so we're here to talk about our extended message from our reading on Instagram this morning. And so if you don't already, you can go follow me at Liz_Taylor_Magick on Instagram. And on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I write up our post in a blog, and there's a photo of the spread. And then we come on later and we talk about them in more detail. And so that is what we are doing now. This is our midweek reading. And so we got discernment, we got compassion, and we got grace. Now, before I go any further and reveal our tarot cards, I would just like to point out again to everyone that we are in the middle of eclipse season. We had our new moon solar eclipse in Aries about 2 weeks ago. And now, coming up in just a couple of days on May 5th, we're going to have, it's on Friday, we're going to have a full moon lunar eclipse in Scorpio. And so this is the final Scorpio South Node eclipse in this cycle, but also the last Scorpio South Node eclipse in a very long time. And so the North Node has been in Taurus for the last about year and a half, and the South Node has been in Scorpio. And what that means is that the North Node in Taurus is pulling us towards what we're growing to. And so it asks us, okay, what do we really value? And it asks us to examine all of those values of Venus and Taurus. What makes us feel secure? What lights us up and turns us on and makes us feel at home? What is sensuous and beautiful to us? What do we value? What makes us feel nurtured and lit up? What makes us feel secure and taken care of, for the long term? And so the South Node in Scorpio, the South Node represents in our chart and rules what we're leaving behind in our lives, what we've already mastered and what we're moving on from. And so Scorpio being in the South Node is the death bringer, the end bringer, the change and transformation bringer. So we've been literally over the last year and a half reconsidering what it is we value now. After all of this conscious evolution that we've been through, what going forward in this next big chapter of our life do we now value? We are transforming what the story of who we used to be and what we used to want for ourselves and what we used to value and what used to light us up. All of that is changing, and that cycle is coming to an end. And so the things that were in alignment with that are falling away. And many of us have already done the big overhaul, and now it's more like smaller tweaks. But for a lot of the other half of us, it's like none of us are an island, and we're all playing these parts and roles for each other. So chances are, even if you're not having a big ending right now, and you've already kind of had your big ending, and now your big ending is less physical world and more like internal stuff, like now you're finally getting a chance to embody new patterns and finally do away with the old mindsets. Some people are just having their big tower moment now. Some people weren't there for last call for purge like we were. So now remember when we talked about it last eclipse season? It was like, hey, anything you're holding on to, it's going to get very uncomfortable and it's going to get very tumultuous and it is going to force its way out of your life. However, it has to, tooth and claw and nail, to free you up for this new authenticity that's trying to come in. And so some people are going through that now. So just be aware that if they are characters in your life, everyone in the collective soul right now is mourning some kind of goodbye to a phase in their life, to a mindset they used to have. I'm saying goodbye to the person I used to be. I feel like a completely new person. And there's really nothing in my life left to be like, shake it away, because I've been doing that work, but there's still like, I still had that, you know, sort of graduation, you know, bittersweetness feeling recently. And so we're all going through it. So before, you know, you jump into anything, because we're all feeling a bit anxious for a fresh start, for fun spring fling energy, for, you know, fun summer days. And we're getting really anxious for that big, you know, this new up level in our life. But we have to take our time and we have to practice discernment. And we need to have compassion for those around us and for ourselves. And we need to have grace in this moment to just be at ease, be completely surrendered, and just be comfortable and in love with the now. No rush. We're right on time, right on schedule. This is exactly where we need to be. Everything right now is happening in exactly a divinely ordered way. The challenges, the victories, the failures, it's all happening just the way it's supposed to, right? This is you getting into the simulation as your new self now. We're being tested as that new self. So be at ease. Have certainty and trust in the Creator that all is in its right place. And the more emotionally sober you are, the more at ease and in serenity and at peace you are, the less reactive you're going to feel. And so the more solid, the more easeful, the more at peace you are, the more magnetic you will be. And the more consistent you are, the more strong your influence will be in your co-creation of your life. So be in grace, right? You don't want to be needy or neurotic or anxious for things to get started or feel like you need to control or hold on or anything. The more open you are, remember the image of the temperance card that we kept getting last week. You can look at my grid on Instagram, but it's the girl sitting under the red umbrella and she just has both hands open. She's very calm and there's birds coming and going in and out of her hands. And that's what we need to be like right now. Just like still, warm, receptive, open to the universe, in surrender, receiving, allowing, open flow, right? Very at ease. That is the grace. So give others grace around you, right? Because underneath these oracle cards, so underneath discernment, we got 5 of Pentacles. And so 5 of Pentacles, well, let's talk about the other cards that were next to it. Next to 5 of Pentacles and underneath compassion, we got 3 of Swords, okay? And then underneath grace, we have 2 of Cups. So basically, I feel like right now, with big endings happening and big life changes happening, I mean, this can be graduations, right? You can be mourning your kids going off to college, or growing up and not being in elementary school anymore. One of your girlfriends could be getting married, and so you don't have your best girlfriend, your single girlfriend anymore, or guy friends. I know there's a lot of men that watch this channel. You could be just entering a different stage of your life. You could be leaving behind a career that you really loved, and it's just not right for you anymore. And maybe it never played out just the way you wanted it to, and you're just making peace with that. Maybe you're leaving a relationship, or maybe you've been out of a relationship and others around you are leaving relationships. And so just have discernment right now about timing, because you don't want to rush forward. Because right now, in this moment, everybody is a little bit Five of Pentacles. We're feeling a little bit exposed, a little bare. This reminds me of Beauty and the Beast, True Love's Rose. But it's like True Love's Rose is like under her cage. Like, she's like a cage, but this is like one of those dresses. It's like the structure underneath a beautiful dress, right? But it is very binding. What holds up that beautiful facade has been very binding. And so it's kind of turned your heart and your love and your passion upside down. And so now the hair is like the cold, brittle, bare branches of winter trees, And so it's like there's no real covering right now. She's kind of exposed. She doesn't have a lot of resources, emotionally or physically, maybe at the moment. So this tells me, hey, look, use your discernment right now. Be wise about what you jump into and start before you have the resources, or before you've given yourself time to heal. I've been talking to a lot of people who have been going through burnout, and they have other things that they want to pursue now. And so this would be a good warning to say, this is a wonderful idea. Begin to develop this, but don't jump in so fast that you burn yourself out again, or that you get ahead of yourself without building a proper foundation and structure and resources gradually and slowly. But right now, like this character, like the phrases that come to mind are like, I don't have enough to give right now, or I'm emotionally depleted. And so it's just like giving this a little bit of time to heal and come together. It's not like a no, it's not like a go the other way, or, cursed or forbidden. It's just like, just give time as things are coming back together. Because next to discernment and Four of Pentacles, it's like we're just waiting on divine timing to start feeling right, Go a little bit at a time, go slow, especially if this is like, say, a breakup or something, like give yourself a little bit of time. Or, if you see somebody else that's breaking up or whatever, it's like your best friend, like give them time before you push them to get back out there. Because this Five of Pentacles and discernment is next to compassion, that's literally over Three of Swords. Three of Swords talks about heartbreak. It talks about separation. It's a card about breakups. It's a card about misunderstandings, miscommunications, falling outs, or physical separation. And so at the very most general, this is a card about heartache. And so we need to just have compassion for not only ourselves as we, finish this healing process and take it slow as we move forward. It's like we're not stunting ourselves. We're not saying, no, we can't go there yet, or no, never. It's just going slowly, right? Taking it at an easeful, consistent, slow, gradual pace. So yes, give compassion to yourself to give you time to get your ducks back in a row and to feel like recalibrated and recentered and feel like yourself again. Next to the Three of Swords and compassion, we have grace and Two of Cups. And so Two of Cups talks about the beginning of a new love bond, be it new friendships, new business partnerships, or new love relationships. This is the beginning of something that has real potential. It's two similar kindred spirits who see eye to eye, right? Who have a common bond and a growing affection and esteem. So yes, the Two of Cups is about a developing, like, Ace of Cups is emotional renewal and a new emotional cycle starting and new things that are exciting and loving and joyful. And so the Two of Cups is a progression of that, but it's a pairing, right? It's when something else, a new factor comes into the picture, and it's not just you anymore, but there's something else, another component. So this might be a new opportunity, it could be new friends, it could be, a new suitor, what have you. But new things, good things are coming. But don't rush it, right? Have grace. Be in the moment. This card talks about finding that power within the now and not getting anxious about the future and not forlorn about the past, but just finding the beauty and the release and the surrender in the present. I think that there's so much liberation and freedom found in just being in the now, in the moment. So many times I know the United States more so than maybe other countries, we're very pressured to always be thinking about the future, right? How's this going to affect your future? Well, is this, are you going to regret this down the line? Or, are you, is this going to pay off in the long run? And we are not living in the moment. Not like, when you go to like Europe and you go to, somewhere like Italy where people are very in the moment and it's all about enjoying the moment and taking it easy and meandering and soaking up the flavors and the sights and the smells. It's like, be in the moment. Really soak it in, savor it. Don't be in a hurry. We talk about A Course in Miracles every now and then when like pieces of it pop up to me, but this particular line has been coming up recently in my consciousness. But those who are certain of the outcome can afford to wait and wait patiently without anxiety. And so it doesn't mean that you're certain that everything's going to work out just the way you want to. But what the certainty is, it's that bigger concept of certainty that we talk about, like that we learn about in Kabbalah, where it's the certainty that is related to the Hebrew word emunah, which is faith beyond reason. So what that means is it doesn't matter how illogical it seems. You can look realistically at the situation and acknowledge realistically what seems like is going to play out or not going to play out or whatever. But certainty is like you acknowledging Creator, the omnipresence of God is within everything around me and through me and within me and that I am in. And the moment that I really connect with that and believe it and know it to be true, it's like I can activate it in any situation. And it's the certainty that's the magic sauce that can turn a plot against me. It can turn it on its head and actually set me up to be in the favorable position, right? So your enemy, your opponent will be hoisted by its own petard if you have certainty. If you have anxiety, that opens up the space for the opponent to come in through the ego, through time and space, for worry, for fear, for lack, for doubt, right? So be in the moment. Don't allow that space to come in. I've been saying so many prayers out loud recently. I've been trying to like make it a point to talk out loud to the Creator, like a friend, right? Not even thinking of it as prayer. And it's like, it's so funny because there are times lately that I've been like, oh, I can't wait to get into my car or get home so I can talk to the creator about like this exciting thing that's happening, it's been really crazy how everything has been really coming forward and coming, like I've been making more money like each shift, like by quite a lot, and like just all kinds of things. It's so wild. So never underestimate the power of saying your prayers out loud, and especially if you're in a lighthearted state. But and also just part of trust, and what's going to help you wait patiently in uncertainty is thinking of surrender as something easeful and relaxing, and to offload a burden. So like, it's hard because surrender is so scary, because you're like, oh my God, if I surrender, I'm not going to get what I want. But like, who says you are anyway, right? It's like white knuckled trying to control and like stay attached to things. It's such an illusion. It's like, what are we going to control? Like, we have control in this world. We're on like a rock being hurled through like space. I mean, it's just insane, like reality. We don't have any control. So give up your false sense of security. Realize that it's not the job that gives me the tips. It's creator, right? It's source. It's the light. It's not the boyfriend or the girlfriend that is going to give me validation or love or joy or bliss or fulfillment. It's the light, right? It's always the light. It doesn't matter the flesh suit, the vessel that it's delivered in. The hit of the high that we want is the fulfillment of the light coming through that thing. And the moment that we really connect with that truth and get it and understand it, then the way that it shows up is less important, because you're like, oh, if this person doesn't work, the light is what I'm really like. It's just the light that I'm getting from them. The light will be in the next person that comes along, and the next one. And yes, there are people with unique pairings that make them valuable and indisposable. And so we shouldn't just like, take people for granted. No. But also, you shouldn't feel so gripped, or that feeling of wanting to control or hold on to a person like, oh no, I'll never meet another person like them. Because then you're like putting your validation outside of yourself. Then you're putting the person on the pedestal. It doesn't, like, I was on acid once, and I tell the story sometimes, but like God appeared to me in the sky, like the stars did like a connect the dots thing, and the face of a person, a guy that I really liked at the time, came through. But it was like God talking to me. And I was like, I don't know, I was really torn about a relationship I was in at the time, and whether or not I was in the right relationship, or whether I was supposed to be in a relationship with this other person that I, was like, had feelings for. And I was really confused about it, and I didn't know what to do. And the face told me, it was the creator. He said, it doesn't matter who the guy is, because it's always me, just showing up however you need me to in this moment. And it took so much pressure off. It also took many more years for me to understand that and believe it. But now I think I understand it and believe it more than ever. And so every time I have understood that, whether it be about a guy, doesn't matter who the guy is, it's always the creator showing up just the way I need. Doesn't matter what the gig is, the job, the creator is going to show up just the way that I need in that moment, right? Friends, family, events, opportunities, homes that you want to buy, the right car that's supposed to be yours. It doesn't matter. It's just a vessel. The creator is going to deliver so that it will play out in the way that your soul needs to for your simulation game, right? For you to alchemize your darkness into light. And so it's going to send you a mixed bag to do what you will with, so that you can alchemize that darkness into light for the sake of yourself, but also for the sake of the whole universe, the whole cosmos, right? So what do we got? We've got the eclipse coming up. We are having the lunar eclipse in the south node of Scorpio. So this is going to be the grand finale on having us take a look at what we value, what makes us feel secure, at home, nourished. The moon has to do with our sense of home, our sense of belonging, our sense of community. If you look at the sign of Cancer, Cancer is ruled by the moon. So a lot of those themes about house and tight community and family and, you know, your most intimate circles. It's also the subconscious, right? And the internal realm, the emotional realm, the intuitive realm. So this transformation in Scorpio, in this eclipse, is really changing how we feel about what we want out of our closest relationships, out of how we perceive what domestic bliss would look like for us, how we feel at home, where we feel at home, you know, what that looks like to us now. So all of that is changing. Plus we're in Mercury retrograde. So if there have been like breakups and get back togethers and breakups and whatnot and back and forth, like it's, you probably shouldn't have gotten back together because it was probably just the Mercury retrograde, but it's probably all just going to come to a grand finale by the full moon lunar eclipse. I've been predicting this for weeks, like big things. So yeah, it also might be a culmination for you. Like if you have already done a lot of the work of removal, you may be getting a bonus. You may be getting an opportunity, right? So it just depends on where you are. Like I said, we all play these parts for each other. So you might be in the group of people that is sort of like, I've already done a lot of the work, so this is about, I'm getting like bonuses and blessings during these eclipses. While some of the characters that you might be in contact with may be having things being removed. So just have discernment about that. Have understanding and compassion for where others are at, even though you may be feeling anxious. Don't rush anything. Just be in absolute grace, patience, and serenity in the now. There is heartbreak in the air, y'all, with the eclipses and the Mercury retrogrades, but healing is imminent, right? Healing is the name of the game. These are good endings, even if they're uncomfortable and painful. This is what's meant to happen because they're making room for this to come in. It's a new kind of emotional cycle, new relationships, different than what you've experienced in the past. This is an up level. This is a new experience. So yes, all of this can be very unpleasant, but it's better to go through it now and get it out of the way so that you can actually look forward to something amazing coming in. I think good things are happening. I can feel it. All right, well, the good thing that's about to happen to me is a hot shower. I can't wait. And I'm going to drink like a gallon of water. And I'm going to go to bed soon. So I hope you guys have a great day tomorrow or whenever you're watching this. And yeah, I will be here, I guess, let's see, what's tonight? It's Wednesday night, probably at midnight now. So the next time I talk to you will be Thirsty Thursday for our romance reading. And I am going to probably film our workshop for the Lunation tomorrow because I've got some bookings for tarot readings on Friday. So I'm going to go ahead and get that up for you guys. All right, well, y'all take care.